Stormblood, Part 1. With the vaunted warrior of light marching beside them, the men and women of the Eorzean Alliance prepare to liberate All Amigo, a land conquered by the Garlean Empire 20 years ago. Meanwhile, in the far east, the freedom fighters of the fallen nation of Doma struggle to rekindle the fires of hope in their countrymen. Man, it was just making me think of the trailer for Stormblood, and particularly like between the teaser and the full trailer and the reveal of Doma. Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, it's everybody still in the same places. If all proceeds to plan, we should soon be receiving word that the Alliance forces have secured Baelsar's wall. Until then, however, we can but ensure we are ready to move the moment we hear the news. I'm going to do a quick check. Talk to Tataru, see if she says the same thing. The signs will be spread thin in the coming days, so Riol and I are discussing assignments. I may have to reorganize my filing system. Okay, it looks like they are saying something new. Things are heating up in All Amigo, but we can't afford to lose track of the trouble what might be. Okay, he says the same thing. She didn't say the same thing, right? None of the other characters are really... Yeah, they all say the same. I wonder why... Maybe just because Tataru is kind of like one of the scions, where the rest of them are just... Are they technically considered scions, or... Because they were like Crystal Braves before, but... I don't know. But they're not any of the important characters. Beyond the Great Wall... Alphino is a man with a great deal on his mind. Hasn't it basically been some variation of that for like the last like 3 or 4 quests?
The question is, how will the Empire respond to the disappearance of Omega and the Primal? Oh, I didn't see you there. Forgive me. Word from Baelsar's wall is proving long in the coming, and my mind cannot help but stray to grim places.
Hey, you were inside.
Alphino, a message from the Alliance.
It's about time. Pray summon the others at once.
Yes, sir.
We don't even know. It could say nothing to report. Why bring everybody together for that?
General Uldin reports that his forces have secured the breach in Baelsar's wall.
And what of the Primal and Omega?
There is still no sign of either at this time. He writes that they will begin a more thorough investigation shortly. And, as expected, he wishes to petition the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
As expected.
The Alliance's decision to capture a part of Baelsar's wall is open to interpretation.
The wall serves to demarcate Imperial territory, Alamigo included, from the rest of Eorzea. To an observer, the Alliance's actions could be seen as a prelude to invasion.
Indeed. And the Alliance leaders have no wish to be branded invaders.
You're saying they won't fight for Alamigo? Even after everything that's happened?
Not without the consent of her people, no. Make no mistake, Lise. The Alliance is in complete agreement that the Empire must be purged from Eorzea. However, they will not set foot in Gyr Abania until they have formally secured the consent and cooperation of the Alamegan opposition.
They would have us act as intermediaries.
Precisely. The Scions are uniquely qualified to serve in this capacity. That is to say, Lyse's, given her personal connection to the Resistance. Who better than you to broker an agreement between the Alliance and the people of Alamigo? Assuming you are willing, of course.
Of course. She's so pretty. I don't know what it is.
Of course I am. You know I'd like nothing more.
Texturing or whatever, I think seems to be smoother
As
on
for
her.
who should accompany you on said diplomatic mission, I had a mind to volunteer myself.
Well, that covers the talking part. But you just know there'll be trouble along the way. Are you available?
Of course. Yeah, I don't know. She's just... Lisa's very striking compared to all the other characters. Save for maybe, like, once you get to, like, Vieira and stuff. I think just the texturing is a little bit smoother and maybe they were, there's more polygons or whatever in the faces, so everything looks more rounded off and just nicer. What will you say? As if you have to ask.
Thanks. It means a lot knowing you'll be there.
I too shall accompany you. Such endeavors are seldom hampered by a surfeit of healers.
Good point. Allow me to offer my services as well.
I have spent quite enough time here of late, so I'll be coming. But
Hell
we will
yes.
need someone to keep an eye on things.
Tataru? Oh,
I trust you
Urianger.
have no objections.
None, my lady. Gladly shall I continue to serve as caretaker of the Waking Sands, and there keep watch for signs of primal and Ascian activity both.
As capable as my learned friend undoubtedly is, there are some troubles that may prove too much for a single scion, on account of which I mean to stay.
It is settled then. Let us each see to our preparations.
Yeah, I don't remember what role Thancred plays throughout Shadow or Stormblood. Like, I don't really remember him going along. To be honest, Lise is the only one I remember, at least through the initial part of it, coming along with you. So, it's finally happening. Don't tell anyone, but I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Only a bit, mind. I'll be fine once we get going. Hopefully. You remember Minago, don't you? The messenger who brought word of the Griffin's attack on Baelsar's wall? Well, she left not long ago, having made a full recovery. If you see her in Garabania, be sure to send my love. Even Tataru has her limits, and so I have taken it upon myself to assist her in managing communications with various organizations and our members in the field. Riel and the others are counting on us for our support, after all. Oh yeah, and they're still here. You would figure, because he was very adamant about them going back to Doma, you'd figure they would have already left. You are ready, Shadow Walker? There can be no turning back once we depart. Almost. There is but one thing that remains undone. Nymphilia would have given anything for a chance to liberate her homeland. Were she still with us, I know she'd be the one leading the way. Yeah, and I remember Y'shtola is definitely comes along too, because she gets kind of taken out of the battle for a while. In our absence, Urianger and Thancred will handle administrative affairs. Continue to coordinate your operations with Alianne and the others, and report to them directly should you receive word of primal activity. Aye, aye, Captain. You can count on us. I'm so glad to have Alisaie along. It was probably Stormblood. I mean, she didn't play a huge role before, like, the very end of Heavensward. But I remember really liking her going into Shadowbringers, and then liking her even more after that. There's no going back once we cross this bridge, and the gods only know what awaits us on the other side. Sister, please, you never know who might be listening, and more importantly, we have our own mission to attend to. And if you're too busy thinking such thoughts, you're liable to get us both killed. I wish there was some way of almost like marking like who to talk to first, because there's, you know, some of the dialogue is clearly a response to somebody else's. Even as bit players, they show such passion, such fervor. Oh, what I wouldn't give to be a bit player too. Or better yet, play with their... She is thirsty. Spirits, Coltene. Spirits. Even if we are not more than bit players in their tale, we must do our utmost to support these senior scions, and Lavenza most of all. Well said, Hori. Every man to his purpose, and we must not doubt ours. Papalymo's absence will be keenly felt for some time. Would that we had the strength to aid others in his stead. All right. I think that's everybody. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't talk to the old guys. What will become of our homeland? I know not what to think of this endeavor. Were I 10 years younger, nay 5, I would not hesitate to join Lady Yugiri and Lord Gosetsu in their fight for freedom. All right, let's get going.
Ready, my friend?
Indeed. Nod.
Well then. Tataru, I leave the rising stones in your capable hands.
Don't worry, Alphino. I'll see that the place is still standing when you come back.
Mistress Y'shtola has unfolded all. You are bound for Girabania?
Aye. The Alliance would have us make contact with the Alamegan resistance as soon as possible.
It begins then. As soon it shall in Doma, if the gods are good. 'Tis but a pity it must be now. I am sorry that we shall not be present to fight beside you in the battles to come.
You have stood with us countless times, Lady Yugiri. Pray do not apologize.
Then let us thank you instead. You and yours stood with us from the first, when we came to this land as refugees in search of sanctuary. Loath am I to think what might have become of my people, had you not extended to us the hand of friendship. We will never forget. This I solemnly swear.
Much has changed since first you set foot on these shores. Revenant's toll stands as a testament to that. I'm sure your people will manage in your absence.
Indeed. They have built a new home for themselves and no longer need me to shepherd them. The time has come for Gosetsu and I to return to our master, to our home.
I know how you feel. It's time I went home too.
Though our battlefields be 1,000 mounds apart, our purpose is one. Let all men hearken to the clarion call of freedom, of liberation, from Eorzea to the far east, that they may rise up and cast down the curse of Garlemald.
Take care, you hear me? When all of this is over, we're going to celebrate. Together. Just you wait.
I should like that very much. Fare you well.
I don't recall when Yugiri's voice actress changed over, but I want to say this is the new one now. I could be wrong, though. And there's just something about Gosetsu when he says something like inspirational like that or whatever. It's just like you want to follow him. 1,000 mountains apart, yet united in purpose. Let us pray both our endeavors meet with success. Shall we then? Wait, not just yet. I knew I'd forgotten something important. Lise, could you come with me? Me? What, now? All right then, if you insist. Now she gets a new outfit. Which is a dope outfit. I mean, it's not as good as her final one, but... Which they actually recently talked about in the live letter, saying that it's going to take some more work to make that outfit available for characters. You know, just because of, like, rigging or clipping or, I don't know, whatever other stuff. Hee. What do you think? As you can see, I designed it to be light and loose, an outfit tailor-made to the needs of a skilled fighter like Lise. Your work never ceases to impress. Much more of this, and I may have to stop introducing you as the Scion's receptionist and start referring to you as our preeminent seamstress. I don't know what title you would call it, but I mean, Tatru is clearly like the glue that holds the Scions together. It's lovely, Tatru, thank you. I feel like I could take on a legion. I'm glad you like it, and with that, I'll delay you no longer. Safe travels. Then onward to Girabanya. Our first stop will be at Amariso's Spire in the East Shroud. Every time I see that word, I'm just like, I don't. Stop making me try to pronounce it. All right. Hawthorne Hut it is. Nope. I was ready to just fly right into Balsor's wall. I won't let you down, Papalymo. I promise. Papalymo had to know it would only be temporary. If Grandfather couldn't contain Bahamut with the power of 1,000,000 prayers, then what chance did his disciple stand, armed only with a broken staff? Was it always his plan to sacrifice his life to complete the ritual, to bring forth the arbiter of his vengeance, but not remain to see the aftermath? Though it may not be apparent to the naked eye, The Aether here is in turmoil. Not since the calamity has this land been subjected to forces of the magnitude unleashed by Shinryu and Omega. The Alliance holds the wall, miss. You may cross at your leisure. At your leisure. All are present and accounted for. When you are ready, my friend, pray inform the officer that we wish to proceed into Garabania. Exciting. It almost kind of takes me back, to that moment. It was like, oh my god, like a new zone. Ah, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. We were told to expect you. Shall I summon someone to escort you to the wall? Yes. Ooh. Still have so much of the map to uncover.
I remember crossing the border, standing in Garabania once more. Me and my fellow scions, the warrior of light among us. Behind us, Baelsar's wall cutting the land in two. Freedom on one side, tyranny on the other. Tyranny and the promise of a new beginning. But one that could only be bought with flames and blood.
Flameblood. Quite an atmosphere here, isn't there? Everyone seems to be on pins and needles, though one can hardly blame them, given recent events. The Alliance has done well to repurpose these Imperial facilities for their own use so quickly. The General's in high spirits, don't you think? I know the feeling. So this is East End. Not too different from the rest of the Shroud, is it? Though truth be told, I'm not sure why I thought it would be. To see the colors of so many nations, Limsa Lominsa, Gridania, Ul'dah, and now Ishgard, well nigh brings a tear to my eye. We have much to be proud of, Lavenza. Yeah, I was just thinking with what Alize was saying. I think it's just, it's like, okay, this is territory held by the bad guys. So you just expect the other side to be, like, bleak and ugly. Although, I mean, it kind of is once you get on the other side of the river. But, I mean, mostly just because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not like desert per se, but just like barren wasteland type of look. Greetings, Scions. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, I welcome you to Castrum Oriens. Every time I have to say Eorzean Alliance, I always get hung up on it. Thank you, General. We were relieved to hear that your forces secured the wall without incident. Have the Imperials made any attempt to retake the Castrum since then? None. Save for a few skirmishes between our scouts and their patrols, we've had barely any contact with them. but we all know it's only a matter of time before things escalate. As if attacking Balsar's wall weren't enough, Ilberd summoned a primal right on their doorstep, and Garlemald does not like to let such shows of defiance go unanswered. 'Twas a declaration of war, even if it was not Ilberd's to make, and now we are bound by it, for weal or for woe. The Scions stand ready to serve, General. What would you ask of us? As stated in my message, the Alliance will not proceed without the support and cooperation of the Alamegan people. We would have you serve as our emissaries and make contact with the Resistance. Consider it done, General. We won't let you down, I swear. Then I'll leave you to it. Godspeed. Ha! Of all the Castra in all the world, you walk into mine. Master Garland, what brings you here? A certain missing Allagan weapon in Draconic Primal. Omega and Shinryu, I think the shinobi called it. Anyway, we've been studying their trail of destruction, hoping it might lead us somewhere, which it has singularly failed to do. I mean, just look at the giant hole in the mountain and just kind of follow it to where it where it leads. Because I mean, that mountain is big enough that, like, it's probably visible to some degree from the East Shroud, right? Like, that they'd have to know that, like, this wasn't here before. Anyway. Then 'tis like Omega fell to Earth in occupied territory, meaning it may already be in Imperial hands. Even so, it bears repeating that we engaged the stasis systems. Again, when you lost contact with it, so assuming that that signal would even get through. I'm nitpicking. Assuming the command was received, and executed successfully. See? The weapon will be of no use to them. Assuming. We should hurry up and find out regardless. All the more reason to reach out to the Resistance. If we want to press on into Garabania, we'll need their blessing. Everyone's counting on us. Let's not waste any more time talking. Thank you all for watching. Tonight's stream went really well. We finished Heaven's Word and got a little ways into Stormblood. We actually managed to clear Raubon Extreme. So if you want to join the fun, the link to my Twitch is in the description down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching, and have a good one.